Hi everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am excited to bring some brand new Halloween themed stamps and dies from me because Halloween is one of my favorite holidays of the year. I know it might seem a little weird, but I have an affinity for the zombie culture, and this new stamp set is my homage to the zombie. So let's take a look at the products. The stamp set is called My Zombie Boo, as in my boo, as in I love you boo, that kind of thing. And all of the sentiments and images are just designed to give a slightly spooky and cheeky feel to any Halloween themed card. I also have a set of coordinating dies so you can cut out a lot of the images and some of the type in this set. I'll be using some Gina Glitter Glitz Gel along with a palette knife that is in the black color. I've got some Distress Oxides in Carved Pumpkin, Wilted Violet, Twisted Citron, and Black Soot, along with some blending brushes. I'm going to be using a whole heck of a lot of Post-it tape to create a fun background for my card. And I've got a few Copic markers as well as a few off-camera that I will also be using today. I'll have everything listed below. Some embossing powder and embossing ink. And I've got two blacks today, Memento and Versafine, both for different purposes. For my cardstock, I've got some Hero Black and a little bit of the Neenah Solar White Classic Crest in the 110 pound. And I've got a little more Gina ink for my other card project. I'm starting out by creating my shiny black glittery background because I need this to dry. And I love this Glitz Glitter Gel. It's very shiny, and I'm just going to lay down a thin coat on some black cardstock and set that aside to dry. And I'm just scraping the excess back in the pot and moving on. Now I brought out my Tim Holtz media mat for this because I wanted to be able to clean it up easily after I was done with my inks. And what I'm doing is using the mat and lining up the points on the top and the bottom to mask off a series of stripes. I'm using the classic Halloween colors, the classic Halloween triad of purple, green, and orange. And I'm going to mix in a little bit of the black soot as well. And what I'm going to do is use the grid and use 2 squares per stripe, if that makes sense. Masking it off and working my way through. I'm trying to create a bit of that ombre blend, if you will, a little darker to the left side and blending to a little bit lighter. But it doesn't have to be perfect. And one thing I do want to point out, when you are masking oxide stripes, sometimes the tape doesn't want to stick, right? And if that's the case, I spared the expense and spoiled the child. What is that phrase? I just used as much tape as I needed because honestly, when you're going all in on Halloween stripes, sometimes you got to do it. You got to use tape. So this is the process, masking and working in my Halloween triad rainbow order with black. And this probably took me about 30 minutes. I'm not going to show you the whole process, but come on, that's pretty Halloween-y and pretty cute. Next, I'm going to take a little black soot. I'm going to take a little acrylic block, smush it down, just get it on there a little bit. And I'm going to wet my paintbrush and then just create a mixture to flick, because I'm going to flick here. I wanted to get a little flicky and have this card look, yeah, a little messy, a little spooky, a little distressed. And this technique appeared to give me bigger splotches. So you got to find your groove. Next, it's time to stamp the images that I'm going to color. And I'm going to stamp both of them at the same time here. And I press this down, and I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black because it's a Copic friendly ink. Now, as I looked at the second image there, the Zombie Rescue, I wanted it a little darker. And therein lies the beauty of the Misty. You can stamp in the exact same place and get a perfect impression. One of the things I love about this set, it doesn't require a lot of color choice, and that's good for me. So I'm just going with some browns, and I went outside of the lines, and so I used my colorless blender here to just push that color right back in. It works like a magic eraser. It's pretty cool. But it's just 2 browns to create a little bit of tone in these handles, and then moving on to the shovel heads themselves. And I'm just going to go with a whole series of the T markers, the toner grays, because I like them. They have a nice neutral, very black and white. They're not too warm. They're not too cool. And I figured, how hard can it be? How can I mess this up? You see, my coloring Well, I'm not going to say it's spooky. Thank you. No pun intended. Well, it was intended. But I'm not as confident as I would like to be with my markers, but I think I did a pretty good job with this. So just working with a series of grays and blending it all out. And then I repeated for the second one. For the hand, I didn't want to get all bloody and weird, so I just added a little bit of the T1, just a little bit there on the upper hand too. And then I went ahead and did the rocks, kind of the same idea. The nice thing about the rocks is it's kind of hard to mess it up because it's organic and no one knows exactly what those rocks are supposed to look like. Therein lies the beauty of zombie artwork. I used the coordinating dies to cut these images out, and now they are ready for the card projects. Next, I'm going to use the Versafine to stamp the Boo sentiment because I wanted it to be really, really dark. I actually had tried it with the Memento, and it wasn't quite black enough, and if you're really looking for a dark black ink, the Versafine Onyx Black is really dark, and I went ahead and cut that out with the coordinating die. I'm scoring my card base at 4 1/4, and this is going to be a little square card. So it's 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, I believe, is my hero cardstock. And I'll go ahead and just score that, press it down, get a nice fold in there. And now I'm just laying it out. I knew that I wanted to cut a little window out. I also went ahead and stamped and embossed a few extra little strips from the set. But I'm going to cut this window out. And then I'm going to take the dried panel that I've cut down a little with the glitter and just figure out where that's going to look good and pop it down. I really wanted to have a shiny, glittery background for this little opening. So I took some foam tape and put that on so I can pop it up just like that. A little bit of dimension. And then I'm going to add a little liquid adhesive to my reaching zombie hand and just pop that right inside the window like that. Now I've got a little bit of foam tape on the back of the Boo. It's the thin foam tape from Scrapbook Adhesives, so it doesn't have a lot of loft, but it does kind of pop it up a tiny bit. And then I'm layering in these strips that I stamped and embossed. Hey Boo, you have my undying love. I think it's cute, and I think my Boo will like this. I hope he will. Moving on. Now this is a technique I saw the one and only Gina K herself do. You want to make some color? Just run your pad right on the paper like that and let that dry. Next, I've got a smaller piece of white cardstock here. I think it's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. I can actually measure and have it exactly listed below. But I just wanted to add a little bit of that same color in a blend in the center and be really light-handed with it and fade it out. And these blender brushes really do help me have a lighter hand. So once I got the blend just how I liked it, I wanted to do the same process by adding some of that red ink and a little water and then just flicking all over the card panel, just like that. And then I will set that aside till it's completely dry. I'm going to score my card base at 5 1/2. This is going to be an USA 2 size. But I'm not going to fold it down yet because I wanted to stamp one of the sentiments on the inside. And that's the nice thing. You can hang your cardstock out of the MISTI and it will not bend it in any way. And there it is. I'd gladly spend the zombie apocalypse with you. I mean, if that doesn't say love, I mean, you know, well, other things say love, but I think that says I love you. Now, I'm going to use my Score Buddy for a quick and easy lineup of this lovely red panel onto the card base. And then I've added foam tape to the back of the panel with the ink blend and splatter. Popping that down and popping up Zombie Rescue Volunteer. And that is my second card project. All about Halloween, love zombies. If you're a fan of, say, The Walking Dead, or your significant other is, this might be the set for you. Thanks so much for watching today, and I would love to have you become a subscriber to my channel. And I will see you back with more card projects soon.